born in South Africa, and I was born in a place called Fort Mistake. It's in the Natal province of South Africa, and it's very close to Dundee. It was for me sometimes, and sometimes it was not. Urban cities, you know, had a lot of the same things. I grew up on American television shows, so I kind of knew what, you know, to expect when I arrived. Based on all the films and the things, you sort of piece together somewhat of a picture of America.
Like, how do they?
I think they perceive Americans as talking funny. Chorus is very loud and aggressive and arrogant, maybe. They associate Americans with wealth. Sort of your standard view. Well, I grew up during the apartheid years, and it was really a very difficult time in the history of South Africa. There was a lot of violence, and I did not know at that point how I could have a future in South Africa. I didn't think that I could have children that would be safe there. And that would have a good education. All those things were very much things that you need in order to be successful, but I don't think that that would have happened, or I didn't think so at the time because it was so difficult. Initially, it was like going to an amusement park. It was fun, it was new, it was exciting, but then it became very, very difficult because I was a young mother and I was not around my own family that knew me. So when you're with your own family, you know, and you need something, you say, I need this. But when you're in a strange place with new people, all you want to do is impress them and you forget about yourself. So, I found it very difficult because I didn't feel that I could express my needs properly, and I was taking care of small children, so I really needed help at that point. Well, you know, I always feel that any conversation is an opportunity for both people in the conversation to learn something. So if I encounter people that misunderstand my culture, I try to now talk about it and not feel too shameful about the apartheid years, but instead try to talk about that period of time and give my honest opinion of what it was like living during that period of time in South Africa. You know, people tend to only want to talk about things that they know about. And sometimes you feel people are very knowledgeable, but they have a set amount of prejudices within their knowledge of a specific event, and you can't change their minds because they're not open-minded. Whereas sometimes people are ignorant, but then they realize they're ignorant and they're happy to change their minds. And those are the kind of conversations that I enjoy. Yes, they do. The Embassy of South Africa still has a lot of embassy people. I've gotten busy working, so it's very hard for me to really engage with them. But I have gotten together with some South Africans, but I feel that I haven't done it enough, and that I should have done it very early on, and that I should have surrounded myself with a supportive group, which I didn't do when I first came. I tried to separate myself completely and not be a baby and not constantly want things from my country. And yet, you know, I felt very strongly that I needed it. I still needed the comfort of my own country, and I denied myself that. And there's a way of, without, you know, looking back all the time, you can still surround yourself with the things that comfort you and that make you feel good without, you know, closing yourself up to new activity, new possibilities and new experiences. I think you can do both. No.
Interesting.
I think it can be, and I've made very many friends here,
Yeah.
and there are amazing people in the United States working towards integration and working towards being the best they can be through collaborating with immigration.
Yes.
And immigrant communities, right? And that's the best of America.
Yeah.
But there's also a very ugly America that I associate with the ugliest parts of racist apartheid South Africa, you know? And I think people do have a way here of being both.